In this November series, we have someone, a seasoned real estate expert. I think this is different from what we have been experiencing so far. Now we have someone that is quite experienced in the real estate profession. When you have real estate experts that are equally in facilities management, they are going to give you a whole new side of your experience or knowledge that you feel you have. We have the MD CEO of Olas Fair FM, Inoleko Lanre Sahid. Sorry in case if I did not pronounce your name well, Mr. Lanre. So Lanre is a seasoned real estate and facilities management professional with over 12 years experience managing and optimizing residential, commercial and mixed-use properties in Abuja and across Nigeria. As MD CEO of Olas FM, he leads operations in property management and project execution, asset optimization, and real estate advisory, helping developers and investors improve building performance and maximize returns. His expertise spans total facilities management, project planning, interior design coordination, real estate marketing, and AI-powered client acquisition system. Wow. Through Lance Consults, he also trains and mentors aspiring FM real estate professionals through structured masterclasses and internship programs. Lara is known for his strategic thinking, operational excellence, and ability to build an efficient property management system that delivers long-term value. He continues to play a key role in supporting developers, investors, and organizations navigating the evolving real estate landscape in Nigeria. So, Mr. Lara, we are very glad to have you in our midst today. I'm very much eager. When I see real estate developers, I believe he's an estate surveyor as well. When I see my colleagues and my noble friends in the profession coming to give us their own side of the experience of being an FM and a real estate person, I'm always eager to hear what they have to say. And as you can see, he's someone that also advises people, helping them in their investment portfolios. So, Mr. Lanre, we are happy to have you. We are still going to be joining. Some of us will still be joining as you are speaking, and I'm going to leave the space for you to continue. Thank you, sir. You can have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening for that wonderful presentation, Obi. Okay, so allow me to share my slide so that we can all be ready.
Okay, sir.
All right, so I hope my slide is very, you can see my slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, we can see it, Mr. Larry.
All right, thank you very much. Introduction have been done, so I don't need much to say about that. Thank you very much for that, Obi. So in this webinar, we are trying to look at the gap between the FM, the facilities, FM and the real estate. All right, so as I've been introduced, I'm an FM and also a real estate expert. So now I have to bridge the gap to unravel the gap between the FM and the real estate industry. Where is the missing grip? That is what we want to unravel here. Now, the topic before me now is the unseen crisis in development, the new era, that is FM thinking into FM. I don't want to draw a poll now. So I just want to assume that we have FM and also we have the real estate expert in the house. So please, I want to be sure this webinar is recorded. Is it? Please, can Obi answer to that?
Yes.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay. Thank
Mr.
you very
Chinedu, go
much.
ahead. Mr. Chinedu. Okay.
It's being
Thank you
recorded.
very much. Okay, so before I start, I would like to also appreciate and also commend Mr. Chinedu for this wonderful platform to educate beyond FM and also the real estate guys in the house. All right, so this is myself. I hope you can see the slide. Okay, so I don't need to explain more about this. The justice has been made already here. All right, so now, before we kickstart the class, let me quickly show you the agenda. This is the agenda. We'll be looking at the FM thinking, the real estate execution. That's the what we have on slide 1. Then the slide 2 is talking about the core concepts, defining the fusion. Then thirdly, you'll be looking at the proof, case studies in failure and success. The slide 4 talks about the framework, how to operationalize the new advantage. Then lastly, the inevitable future. Now, this class, like I said, is a class that wants to expose the FM to the real estate. That is, the opportunities that is bound for the FM in the real estate, which a lot of the FM people or firm, they are not actually looking at. Some people are looking at it, but not in a deeper angle. It's for us to explain the market overview, that is the real estate in view. If you agree with me, the FM is also working directly in the real estate industry, either we like it or not. And I have to prove this with this explanation. Market overview and opportunities. Now, we have a data that we want to present to us here. And the data is talking about the real estate market size. We need to know the capacity of the real estate. We need to know how huge the real estate industry is. One way or the other, FM is not just to maintain or to optimize building. We need to look at it in a strategic way, in a manner that it can even blow our mind, so that we can be sure that this industry that we have a lot of impact, to participate in. All right. So the Nigerian real estate market size is valued at $2.6 trillion. That is the value of the Nigerian real estate market. If we have this huge value, you want to agree with me that the FM has a lot of stake in this figure or in this data, if only we know how to play it well. All right. So when we talk about the value, it will be $2.6 trillion. It is talking about the total real estate in the country. How do I mean? The real estate is not just a building. It's not just an estate building. The real estate is not just a commercial building. That is to say, the banking systems, the industries, the manufacturing areas, is not just a land. It is the total of all this that we have mentioned, the total value of all the real estate, be it building, commercial, misuse, residential, land, schools, and all that. This is the total value that we're talking about. Now, On the other side, I also want you to understand that the real estate sector is growing rapidly annually. And you will agree with me, because we have a lot of how will I put it? A lot of construction that is happening on a daily basis. Even though we said there is inflation, the real estate is always edging against the inflation. Yes, the real estate is always what? Edging against inflation. There is nothing like inflation beside real estate. And that is why we have this value to be increasing at the rate of 10% annually. It might interest you to know that the real estate is growing at a very higher rate, even more than the Nigerian GDP. The Nigerian GDP is growing at a rate of between 3 to 4% annually. You can see the real estate is growing even times 2. Okay, is growing at a double rate at which the Nigerian GDP is growing. And it will even interest you to know that the real estate, the Nigerian GDP is valued at $430 billion. That is the value of the Nigerian GDP, you know. So now, if you compare the two, that is the real estate and the Nigerian GDP, the real estate is valued at 2.6 trillion, while the Nigerian GDP is valued at 430 billion, which one is higher? The real estate sector is even higher than the Nigerian the GDP. Does this amaze you? Yes, this is data. Data does not lie. Now, what are the factors that contribute to these great numbers? We have a lot of factors which we are just going to list out for us here. One, we have annual residential housing need. There are increasing need in housing. What we can also call urbanization. A lot of people are moving from the rural area down to the urban area. That's why you see a lot of population increasing annually in either Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, and other surrounding cities. These are the reasons why there will always be a need for industrialization. You know, because as people become to increase, there's always need for industrialization. Again, there is a factor which is called the diasporal contribution. All right, so which means that a lot of people in abroad, they are actually coming down to invest in property. Why? Because they understand that investment in real estate is the best way of what? Of investment. And again, real estate does not hedge against inflation. All right, so those are the contributing factor. You know, so this is not where we are going, but I just want to whet our appetite to actually understand, for us in the FM industry and also for us in the real estate industry, you know, and again for us that we are combining the two, like I do, you know, because I have to combine the two because I have seen the benefits, I have seen the great value in the real estate sector. I've seen why you need to combine the two. I've seen why you need to go deeper into your real estate, how you have to, you know, increase your knowledge because of this opportunity. And again, to us in the FM industry, this is a huge opportunity for us, and it's a challenge too, that how are we playing our game in the real estate sector? The real estate sector is huge and it's massive. But if we don't know how to play this, if we don't even understand this data, then we might not probably know how to play it. So it is not a mistake for you to say you are a real estate and facilities management expert, because there are benefits that abound in this. And that is what we want to unveil here. Now, permit me to move to the next slide. This is the agenda for the class. We'll be, as in this slide one, like I've said again, we'll be looking at the FM thinking, the core concepts, the proof, that's the case studies, the framework, how they personalize the new advantage, and lastly, the inevitable future, which we are all going to be learning here. Now, let us look at the FM thinking, the real estate execution. The summary of this program is for the real estate firm, the industry, to know the importance of the FM in the industry, is for them to understand that without the FM, without partnering with the FM, without leveraging the knowledge of the FM, whatever the real estate is bringing out will just be for business. It will just be for business, and it would not go beyond the business, which we also have a lot of benefits, like branding, like to also to promote the real estate brand, and also to improve the reputation, and also to multiply sales. Because I understand that the real estate sales cycle has to do with the purpose of real estate is to sell. But as an investor or as a buyer, it is not about selling. It's about reputation. It's about post management. That's this post-sales management. And that is why we are looking at the FM thinking and the real estate execution. How do we match these two together? Now, the hard truth is that the developers lose more money after constructions than during the constructions. You see, and I have to explain the reasons for us so that we can understand this. And the reason is a fundamental design flaws in their thinking. And this is because they did not think like an FM from day one. It has always been an argument that the real estate firm or constructions did not or has always not been involving the FM at the planning stage. This has always been the noise that the FM people normally make. That how can we unravel this? How can we solve this? How can we put this across to them that we should also be part of the sales cycle. We should also be a part of the development cycle from the day one, not just at the handover or at the handing over or the commissioning. And this is what brought this topic, the FM thinking and the real estate execution. So this webinar is hinged or tight around the benefits why the real estate should consider the FM industry at the beginning. And if they do not, it might cause a failure to their brand. It might cause a failure to their brand, not immediately, but at the long time. Now, the old book play like this. In the real estate, this is how the old book play. They acquire, they build, they sell, and they also repeat. Now, this process or this procedure is running out of hand. That is, it's running out of the road. That is, if the FM speak out, if the FM continue to make a kind of PR so that we can always educate this set of people, these real estate developers, to know the importance of bringing FM from the day one. All right, which is also what we are going to be calling the new possibility. All right. So what are going to be the benefit of this? You know, it would build an asset that can last a test of time, that can last for more than 10 years, 20 years, or even 30 years. Now, the most expensive costs are the ones you don't see on a project. Yes, you don't see this cost on a project because the cost on a project as what has been tied to the project. You know, they've been able to estimate how much they are going to be spending on a project, but forgetting that there is a cost after the project. I want to believe that a lot of us here know what I'm saying. At the end of the project, when the project is being handed over to the facilities management, the facility manager will have to, maybe during the assessment of the project, or maybe at the starting, at the beginning of the usage of the estate, you start seeing so many errors in the building, errors that were not there before handing over, errors that crop out after handing over, and these errors would amount to cost, because there is no way you are not going to fix most of these errors. Lot of errors. Some errors will amount to, restoring some buildings or reshaping some buildings, one way or the other, or errors that can even lead to maybe leakage of plumbings or electricals. Some cables might even be burnt. So these are errors that can crop up, when the building is being handed over. And these are the things that we're talking about. These are the things that we are raising, to the real estate firm. We are telling them that, no, bring us at the beginning. Let us help you to reduce most of these errors. Let us help you to reduce most of these errors. Errors that ranges from service charge, errors that ranges from, energy bills, that can even evaporate your return on investment. At the end of the day, when a project firm or the contractor or the firm that developed the project should be thinking about enjoying the return of his investment, but rather he will be using part of the money to fix some of these errors. And these are the errors that can be corrected. Today we are going to talk about the new advantage, that is merging the discipline of FM with the execution of real estate development. Let's move to the next slide. Now, let's talk about the fusion. That is, how do we collide the two, the FM and the real estate? Now, look at this point we have here. The real estate execution goes like this: from the design to build to sell and exit. These have always been the common routine from the real estate firm. All right? They design, yes. They build, they sell out, yes. And after that, what happens? They move to the next project, forgetting that there should be something that is called post-management, which is facilities management. So at the end of the day, some hand over to FM to manage. At this point, it might be too late. While some even manage it internally, lack of experience, lack of knowledge on management, while others don't even bother about the facilities management. Now, what do you think will happen? Okay, so let us also look at the old models that the FM thinking is all about. Now, after the sellout of the estate, the FM comes in to operate normally, right? Then also they maintain, and also they react. They react to different types of maintenance, all right? Both reactive and also predictive, and so on. Now, this is the old model. Now, we are talking about the new model now, and that is what we are campaigning. That is the advocacy that we are trying to preach, because if we don't preach it, if the FM don't say all this, don't maybe teach or create an awareness. The real estate guys might not really know the danger or what this will cause them in the future. They might probably enjoy for maybe 1 to 2 years, fine, because there won't be any visible defect within this period. But between 2 to 5 years, you start seeing a lot of errors. All these errors will start coming up. All right. So, and again, it is not a good sign in terms of brand awareness or reputation to this firm. All right. If you agree with me, please, I want to be sure. I want to know if you are following. Are we following? Are we not? Please let us know if you are following. Is the class okay? As in, are we enjoying the class? Let us, get a response from a reaction from the, emoji and all that before we move on. Or do we have anybody that wants to ask any question? Because I don't want to sound like I'm just the only one, teaching and teaching. All right. So let's get a response. Are we getting the class? Is it flowing well with us? Are we enjoying it? Thank you very much, Samson.
Yeah, Mr. Larry.
Thank you, Inamdi. So I want the emoji to start. Obi.
Okay, I actually wanted you to go back to the infusion, the new model
Okay.
stage. You can just go back on. Thank you.
Okay, so okay, is it this slide?
No, the slide that you have currently, not this one, the one that you're already speaking on.
Okay, this slide. Okay, this
when
slide.
you are having the old phase to the new model, I want you to go back and just give a little brief explanation again. When you talked about FM thinking, real estate execution, that's FM informed design, FM proof build, sell. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Obi. So I'm actually talking about the old way, which a lot of estate firms are still, depending on, if I may use that word, so they believe that they have to design and sell and exit, exit. Some exit finally, like they hand over the buildings to the buyers. All right, they hand over the buildings to the buyers, forgetting that the buyers in this case are left to their fate. The buyers don't even know how to run the building. They don't even know how to run the infrastructures, because the real estate will always tell us infrastructures, infrastructure this, infrastructure that. Do you understand? Now, at the end of the day, they exit without proper handing over of the infrastructures to the buyers. Now, what do you think will happen? Brand reputation, mistrust, a lot of negativity. Now, it's so the buyer are supposed to be an advocacy. They are supposed to be an ambassador to help the real estate multiply their sales. But they are losing that, because we are moving to the next project and you are going to repeat the process again. You are going to design, build, sell again. So the process might be so difficult for you. If you refuse to do the needful to take care of post-management, the post-management is a huge topic on its own. And that is where facility management comes in. And there are a lot of benefits. We, the FM and also the real estate firm, can benefit from the post-management. One of it is referrals. The buyers will refer. Even if you have the next project, the buyers will refer. And again, another advantage of post-management is that you can even use it as your real estate pitch or sales strategy. Because a lot of buyers want to ask you, what happens after we buy? if you don't understand FM, you'll be saying nonsense. Most FM have lose it from this conversation. But if you know what you are doing, what the buyer is asking about is who manages this project after purchase. They want to understand your sales cycle. Your sales cycle does not end at exit. It continues at post-management. And this is what they want to understand. And if you can be able to as in teach them about this, if you can be able to, convince them about post-management, it can even be a strategy that you are using to sell more than other real estate guys. Now, that is the real estate execution that we're talking about, which ends at the exits. This is the old model. Now, again, the FM thinking starts after the exit. One way or the other, the FM will come in, at the last stage. Then again, they will do their own thing. They will operate, they will maintain, and they will react to maintenance, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are the old model. Now, the new model is trying to fuse this. It's trying to fuse it together. That is, how can the real estate fuse FM into their thinking? How would they bring it from the day one, not at the day 3, not at the phase 3? We need to bring it. We need to bring it at the day 1, and this is the advocacy. This is what all FM should be talking about. We should not be pushed aside. We should not allow We should not allow the FM to be handed over buildings that you already know that the building will not last a test of time because your input is not being taken. Okay, so this is a new model, and the new model is talking about the FM thinking plus the real estate execution. Now, the model goes like this: FM informed decision. Now, what am I saying? You have to input your design. FM has to input his or her design into the real estate execution from the design stage. Now, after that, you have to future proof build. Now, what am I trying to say? The building that you are going to be, putting up has to be FM inclined. It has to be FM inclined. We have to consider so many factors. You have to input your own knowledge and experience in terms of sustainability, in terms of efficiency, and in terms of easy way of running and cost optimization and all that. So after all this, you need to sell. What you'll be selling will be high performing assets, not just a building, not just a fancy building, not just an aesthetic building that would only last for 2 years. It has to be a building that will last a test of time. You get? Now, after that, as in whatever you are going to be managed will be optimized. It will be an optimized building that has value. That is the new thinking. That is the new model. So when you fuse them, you stop selling building, you start selling predictable low risk, you start selling high performing assets. Okay, so you're not just selling square meters as most real estate people do. Come and buy, not forgetting that the building is beyond selling square meters. It is actually selling peace of mind. It is actually selling something that will stand a test of time. It is actually selling as in a project that has a lower cost of occupancies. Not just a building that will be consuming high rate of service charge and all that. No, this is actually what we are trying to portray to us, and this is why we need to fuse these two things, as in two fields together. All right, so that we can have a valuable product. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Now let's move to the next slide. Now let us look at the case studies. the failure and the success. What do I mean? The failure is what I refer to as lack of FM thinking. If we did not introduce FM from the beginning, likely failure that would happen. Not even likely failure that will happen, failure that will happen, because I've been into the FM for more than 10 years, and I'm also into the FM. I'm a facility manager and also a real estate expert. Yes, I know a lot of errors that we have faced after handing over. So many problems that we are still facing now. You know, we are still trying to patch some problems that cannot even be resolved throughout the life cycle of the building. Now, these are lack of FM thinking. If we have been taken up, you know, from the day one, most of these problems might have been, you know, maybe reduced or even eliminated. As in, you get my point now. Most problems might even be reduced or eliminated. I know what I'm saying. Now, let us look at case study here. Residential building. From the design stage, we might have an inadequate space for waste collections, okay, for trucks to turn around. You know, sometimes when the building is being handed over, there won't be any space or any designated area for waste. They've forgotten all that. They can't even remember where the waste will be. You know, so you have buildings that have 40 units and you don't have a designated place for waste evacuation. No, these are the errors that we see a lot. So you start as you'll be the one to start, you know, designating a space, you know, or start constructing a space, you know, for waste evacuation. You know, in some cases you won't have, or you cannot even see an FM office. You have an estate more than 40 units, you know, you cannot even have an FM office because all the spaces has been utilized. Now, these are the real estate firms that don't put FM into consideration, even from their own thinking. How do you expect that kind of estate to perform if there is no FM office in place? You know, centralized water system with no redundancy. You know, most places, you know, you find out that, you know, the only water system that they have is just one source of water system or power, as in, you know. So most of these cases, when you have this kind of things, if the water, you know, get bad or there is a problem, so that means all the estates will be without water systems. You know, so it should not always be like this because we know what problem we face. In some cases, most of these water systems get dry, especially during rainy season. So you need a kind of backup, you know. So most of these things are things that FM should be able to contribute, you know, if or at all they were put or they were engaged at the initial stage or at the day one stage. Now, at the construction stage, you know, we have complex roof designs that leak. Now, these are the errors that happens when you don't involve FM at the day one. You see a lot of building with great designs, but it is not about aesthetics. It is about the quality. It's about what will last for a test of time. You know, so if you don't bring in FM, because FM will be the one to start fixing leakages, one as in one day or the other. You know, so we start fixing all these things. These are the things that we face on a daily basis. You know, anytime rain falls, you see leakages. They start calling you, you know, and these are the things that can be corrected from the day one. It is not about how shiny the ceilings are, you know, it is about how durable they are. You know, so these are the things that we can actually fix when we are actually brought in from the day one. And these are what we call the lack of FM thinking. Now, what are the results of this? You know, constant service charge, the dispute. Yes, you start seeing so many damages cropping up. And at the end of the day, you will start leveling these charges on the occupant. You start asking the occupant to contribute money, you know, to fix something that ought to have been fixed, you know, or ought to have been corrected initially. You know, so these are things that, you know, bothers most occupants. All right. So, and which can also cause resident uprising, difficult finding a management company, and so on. So these are the results when you have lack of FM thinking. But when you have FM thinking, what do you think will happen? There will be a master plan with FM in mind. That's why it is also very important for the FMs to educate ourselves. We need to educate ourselves. We need to continue to learn, because the moment the real estate firm notice that you have knowledge deficiency, they won't trust you. They won't even listen to you. So we are talking about how to fuse the FM and the real estate. It will not come easy if you don't have a good knowledge of the real estate. If you don't have something that they will see as value. For example, if you want to sell a real estate, they'll ask you, it is not about selling. It is about the futures. What futures does the estate have? Now, if you want to come in, like at the day one, what value are you bringing in? And these are the things that we are teaching us. These are the values that we need to know. These are the values. We need to understand that the real estate is a cycle. It will also warrant us to also understand the cycle as well. Because if you don't understand the cycle, you might not probably know how to, educate the real estate firms, or how to sell your own ideas to them, why they need to bring in the FM from the day one. Now, if FM is brought in at the day one, the waste management zone will be labeled, will be identified, because these are the services that we render. In FM, we have two types of area. We have the soft FM and the hard FM. I hope we all know that. All right. So the hard FM are the ones that we cannot actually do, or it will actually require an expert, like the MAP. All right. So while the soft FM are the ones that you can just bring somebody and train the person, like cleaning, like waste management, like fumigation, health and safety, and all that. Now, so because we understand all this, then we know all the services that we want to render, and we know that each of the services will require this and that. And also we know the number of people, the number of units that we are going to be managing. So we can, from there, try to analyze how many waste will be produced from that particular. So we will know the actual cubic meter of what we need. So these are the things that we need to do if an FM thinking is brought from the day one. Also water treatment. And from the water treatment, again, we know that, okay, so water, we need to like maybe have 1 or 2 or 3 water supply systems, not just one. Because most of the time, the real estate guys will want to manage money. They want to manage their budget. It is not actually, so they will just give you whatever they want. So if you are part of the team, you can always do your feasibility studies together and actually know the amount of money that would. It is better for you to spend the money, than spending the money later, because there is no way you are not going to spend the money later. You are going to spend the money later, after the post construction. So at the construction stage, we have quality materials, in high traffic areas, so you cannot just use anyhow material, especially for high traffic areas, So these are the things that we are going to contribute during the FM thinking stage, and all these will amount to success at the end of the day. Now, what is the result? The result will definitely be smooth operations, high resident satisfaction, stable and next project. I think we have said this before. It should accelerate. No, one thing about brand, as in one thing about brand reputation, is that I'm glad side, because as in the estate is a competitive area, and knowing that if you are in an estate firm, you need to be able to have a niche. As in, you need to be able to have something that you can always use to convince your client. And these are part of the things that we are learning here, which is the FM thinking. Some people, they don't want to live in an estate. Build and probably sell. These are investors, So as a real estate, you understand that, if this kind of people that they want to multiply are not being use one part of your sales strategy. The sales strategy that's supposed to be an advocacy, like a referrals. As an happy client is, sorry, I want to know what an happy client, who can help me with that? An happy client is what? There's a statement that says an happy client. Who can help me with the conclusion of that? What am I trying to say is that when a client is happy, is, in fact, he will sell for you even without you. That can market for you even without you knowing. And it's not just that they want to probably have an interest or to gain, because they are happy. So happy clients will do anything for you. They will go as far as, selling your brand. Okay. So if you know this, then why are you now selling and you are not thinking about post management, which is FM? Why are you not thinking about bringing in FM from the day one? Because these are the things that will make a client to be happy. These are the things that would even make your own sales to be easy. By the time you put all these into your sales pitch, at the end of the day, we are going to be having a post management. They'll start asking, so what is post management? Because all these infrastructures needs to be taken care of. We need to keep them and make sure that they continue to become new at the end of the day. So any client will be happy to hear this. So at the end of the day, you mean that you are going to be taking down, that you would manage their cost optimizations, that they will not be charged much and all that. So these are the things that referrals does. And that is why we have the post management. So let's move to the next slide. So let me have a break and let us interact from here. From these, do we have any question before we go to the next slide? Let's have a break, like 5 minutes break. I hope we still have some time. Like we have 30 minutes, right? So I want someone to ask questions, one or two persons to ask questions, or probably to share one or two ideas. We are sharing question. So I'll leave the floor open. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, then we'll move on. So who is going to start? Who do we have here? We have Obafemi, Kale Sonwo, we have Namdi, we have Emeka, we have Samson, and we have Wisdom. Anyone that want to share one or two ideas and introduce yourself. Are you an FM? Are you a real estate? Are you a fuse? Are you a combined FM and real estate? Like I do. I'm a fused.
Good evening.
Okay. We
Good
have
evening,
someone
sir. My
here.
name is Emeka.
Emeka, welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for this wonderful time. I'm really learning a lot. But I wanted to try to ask, how do you know your client is happy when dealing with them? Thank you.
Okay, so how do you know your client is happy? Okay, so we have different stages, before and after. Now, after is post management, and if a real estate firm has a well set up FM system, there is no doubt, as the building is being handed over, there is also there is a structure and a system on ground. Do you understand? There is a structure and a system on ground. So which means that the real estate firm is prepared. So with this system and the structure, okay, so this is one thing that you should know, that of course, definitely the client will be happy. So the client will be happy if there is a system and structure. But if there is no system and structure, of course, you want to understand what I mean. You know, there will not be an organized community or estate. You get? So in that case, definitely such clients will not be happy. As in, have I answered your question, Emeka? Hello, Emeka. Are you there?
Yeah. I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, did that answer the question? Like I said, before and after. Before is probably when you are trying to pitch the estate or that kind of what property to the client. If the client is not happy, the client is not going to buy. Do you understand? If the client is not convinced, because you need to convince the client. We have different stages which you convince the client. The client needs to ask a lot of questions. It might even be this post-management. The client is happy about the area. The area is a prime area. It is a good investment area. It can afford the place. The place has good features. It has good infrastructures. It has everything. But the client might not be happy if the client understands post-management and you are not explaining post-management to the client. Definitely the client would decline your offer and you have lost the sales. Do you understand?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So do we have other persons? One more question before we move on. We still have like 2 slides to go or 3.
Hello,
Anyone?
good evening.
Good evening, Wisdom.
Okay, my name is Wisdom. Mine is really not a question, but some little contribution to everything you've said so far. So, for a fact, I can tell that to a large extent, I can tell that I have witnessed the satisfactory outcome of being a facilities manager and also someone who is a realtor. Okay, so I happen to work for an organization that is into construction, and then they have their sister company, so to speak, as the facility management arm. Okay, so I have seen how they infused the need for a facility manager to be at the handover stage of the property. And because my management, that's the facility arm now, so to speak, spoke to a large extent to the mother company, which is the construction company, telling them that for all these contractors that you have, we are requesting that you don't make their full payment until the handover is done to the facilities manager. So I have witnessed several quarrels with contractors, with those contractors, simply because I will tell them, Oga, this thing you are doing is not right. And when they refuse to listen, shebi na me go still collect the property. I just tell them, Oga, I can't receive this property from you. Go and do the right thing. And then the management will call me. I'll tell them they no do house where. That's another way of ensuring that there is this correction, because these contractors, they will build and they will go. They will leave you with the trouble. And then you start battling with the owner of the house. The owner of the house will be telling you, which kind of house will not build like this? Contractor don't go. They will now be fighting you. You will now be the one trying to resolve the problem. Contractor has collected his money and he has gone. You can't carry him back. And most times, yes, we know we have that is it I've forgotten the word they call it now, the period,
The
like a
warranty
1 year
stuff.
period. Yes, the limited liability stuff for them to come back to rectify whatever issues that might come up before they eventually go fully. But hardly do they come back on time. They will drag and drag the issue. Eventually they will come, they will do one little thing and they are gone. And you'll still be the one struggling with the house owner to try to pacify them, tell them to just, since it's your house now, use your own money. Small, it's just one small issue. But how long do we need to continue like that? So the best thing is just for those I don't know, the company employing those contractors, if they have a facility manager on ground, let the facility manager be the one to tell them this house is okay, I will collect the key. That way, contractors will be forced to do their job if the facility manager stands on his own job too. Okay, so if you refuse to collect a house, the company is holding contractors full payment until facility manager say house on day, okay, we'll pay your money. That way it's simple. Well, it's just my own contribution. So I've seen how these two aspects, come together to make things get better in the built environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wisdom. You have said a lot, and that is actually what we are trying to. The campaign is more like a campaign now, because the real estate firm, I understand that we have organizations. We have to do a lot of PR in this area. Okay, so Farouk wants to talk. Be you, Farouk. Okay, so go ahead, please. Obafemi also. Okay, so this is getting interesting. All right, so Farouk should go ahead first. Farouk, you have the floor. All right, so we don't have Farouk now. So, okay. Mr. Farouk, please unmute your mic. Your mic is still muted, so unmute your mic and let's hear you.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My mentor. Quite right. The real estate, there is one of the challenge that they are facing as a facility manager in charge of all those property. And it's a good idea, which is a very nice topic about it, because for you, as what the last speaker that said, because he know about, he's a field officer, he know what is happened. That's why he's having that experience. He already faced that kind of a challenge. It's one of the challenges for maintain and a repair of a property after handing over. Because for you as an estate manager and also a facility manager in charge of a property, because you know you are the bedrock of that project, you know in and out about the project, the way how they started everything as a field officer on it, which most of us will so much neglect. There are different, up to 4 different type of estate management. You talk about the residential, the commercial, and the agricultural real estate management. And then it's a good idea for bringing on, because I'm very glad about it that is the person that treated the topic is you have the worth of experience on the topic, because it's on feed. You know what is already happened. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Farouk. Mr. Obafemi, you can go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
You have the floor now.
Yeah, hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, just to buttress on what the previous person said before Mr. Farouk talked about. So I'm a facility manager. So what we used to do normally in that kind of case. So the company I work for, we used to carry out a facelift of floors, like we do renovations of some floors. So they will call in contractors to come and do the work. They won't even put in the facility manager in view. They don't carry us along or anything. But what they used to do is, okay, to hand over, they will now call us in that, okay, yeah, we want to hand over. these are the flaws. So what we now do is, and what they do is they keep the retention fee of all those contractors for a year. So any snag that we see whenever they want to hand over, we tell them for the whole year, anything that gets spoiled, probably one locker is bad, any chair is bad, we call those contractors back. They make sure that all those contractors come back to come and fix all their all the snags for that year. So if the year has elapsed, they pay them off. But adventure, any contractor fails to show up within that year. So what they will do is they will call in the in-house maintenance team. Okay, yeah, do this. Then they will pay them from the retention fee of those contractors. That okay, so far you are doing it. Let's just take this money to fill in your own gap. So I feel if facility managers are being taken to the know whenever there is any contract or any innovations or anything, all the gaps that we would see after completion of the project would have been closed. That okay, this is how we do, this is our standard, this is what we do, this is what we use, this is this. So I feel it should be facility manager should be incorporated into any building that okay, you know that it is still the facility manager that will still manage it. So why are you now sidelining the person in the long run and giving them unnecessary maintenance issue or anything? So that's just my own contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bafemi. Yeah, we have all said the right thing, and we've contributed very well. And again, my own advocacy is how we're going to start this, but it's something that we should take very seriously. That in any development, in any project, FM should be part of the stakeholders from the day one. Yeah. So again, I'll also say this, that we need to come together as a force, you know. So I'm talking from the real estate angle, you know, and I've been able to give us the overview of what the real estate look like. All right. So sometimes nobody will give you something on a platter of gold. You need to be the one to create a good PR for yourself. You need to be the one to continue to advocate for this advocacy, for this, how will I put the English, for this awareness, for this recognition. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Because if at the end of the day, we are be the one, as in would always be the receiving end for all these errors. Because I understand that some errors cannot be fixed, even if we are retaining whatever or whatever, you know. It is better for the contractor to run away than even come in for your retention fee. I hope you understand my point, Mr. Bafem. You understand? Because they've understood that the problem they are coming to fix, the money they are going to spend is bigger than that retention fee you're talking about. Do you understand? So if the advocacy is well publicized, that okay, so we need to be recognized, not just as a caretaker, not just as a support or service provider. We need to be part of the stakeholder from the day one. You know, so these are things that we can actually do, because it would cause a lot of progress. It would give us more success to us and also to the stakeholders, to the real estate firms, to the contractors or whatever, you know, but because it doesn't take anything out. But nobody will give us all this platform on a platter of gold. We are the one to advocate. We are the one to continue to let them know that no, we need to be here because of this reason, that reason. And by the time we do this constantly, they would understand. they will understand and they will put us in from the day one, from the design, from the planning stage. Again, another thing I want to we should continue to study. We should continue to learn. There are a lot of things we need to learn. If you want to become someone that to be reckoned with, it is not just facilities management. You know, we need to understand that we need to understand some knowledge that even if it does not really attribute to FM, but we can be able to contribute. Then from there, they will listen to us. Okay, this person has one or two things to contribute. Let us bring him in. And this might also be the reasons why you have been brought in from the day one. You know, part of the knowledge that we should try as much as possible to get is the knowledge of project management. It is very important. As an FM, we need to understand project management back to back. With this, whatever we say, they will listen to us. Because there is nothing that you want, as they want to do that you don't know. It is not just to maintain your building. It is not just to optimize cost. It is not just to improve the efficiency of the building. You can also help them to reduce costs from the day one. You can also even help them to understand what is called feasibility studies of the project. This kind of project, you know, you can also contribute your own quota. Again, other knowledge like health and safety, real estate, you know, is part of the knowledge that we need to understand. We need to know the sales cycle. The sales cycle of FM is very important. We need to know there are some basic things that we need to know, like title documents. We need to understand how to calculate the square of, you know, of the land and all that. What is the square meter of the property that you are sitting on or you are standing on? You know, so these are the things that we need to know to equip ourselves with. All right. So let's move on already. How many minutes do we have? All right. So now let us look at the framework, how to operationalize the new advantage. All right. So now, if the FM has been installed or has been recognized from the first day, now this is how the development life cycle will look like. The phase one is land acquisition and concepts. Now we'll talk about land acquisition. We need to know the environmental we need to know the safety of that particular area. So we need to know the land we are sitting on, the title of the land. Is it a commercial land? Is it a residential area? What is the square meter of the area? You know, we need to also understand the concept. So these are the things that we need to first of all know. If you don't understand this, then how do you think they will bring you up, or they will bring you from the day one? Because these are the things that you need to understand from the phase one. You know, so what are the things you need to ask? What are the long-term risk and the cost of this area? You know, you need to understand the infrastructure of that area. You need to understand the development of that area. You know, you need to know how to confirm the documents of that area. You know, so these are the things that you need to do at the planning stage. Now, at the design stage, you know, an FM need to sign off architectural and MMP drawing. MMP drawing is mechanical, plumbing, and electrical, right? So you need to know how to read drawings. You can see, it is not just for you to say we are not brought in from the onset. No, there are some basic things that even we need to understand. You need to understand design. How do you interpret designs? You know, how do you interpret structural designs? You know, so what to ask of the day is, how will every component of this building be maintained? If you don't understand what is mechanical, and you can be able to interpret it from the drawing, if you don't understand what is electrical, even if they hand over this document to you, this drawing to you, and you cannot interpret it. So what are we saying? So you see, there are a lot of things we need to know. When I was in my early years of facility management, there are so many things that I learned. I learned interior designs. So it is from the interior design I was able to learn how to interpret design, structural. You have to start learning a lot of things together, because I have the mindset that this is what I want to do. Do you understand? It is just of recent that I ventured into real estate, and I have reasons for venturing into real estate. Part of the reasons are, there are some clients that they will ask you, Mr. Larry, I want to sell my property. Be like, but I don't know how to sell. As in, where do I start from? Do you understand? So imagine when the client tells you want to sell a property worth of 550 million, and you don't even know the basic question you need to ask from the client. As simple as, okay, what is the title of the document? You know, how do you verify the document? How do you verify the document? You know, what is the square meter of the you know? So these are the basic things that you need to know before you can even sell any property. For some of us that we are into the property, as in we are into the real estate, we can agree with us now. These are the basic things. You know, you need to know what is called equivalence, what is called due diligence. You need to understand all these things. Imagine you managing a property for more than 10 years, and when the client says you want to sell, you are not looking for an estate manager. You are not looking for Mr. ABC, whereby you are the first-hand person to sell all this. You need to know how to sell as an FM. So these are the things that make me to say, no, if there are chances that I can make it very fast, why won't I learn this? Because these are the ways whereby you don't have to struggle for a long time. You know, these are the opportunities, the opportunities that will just come up, that will show up, and by the time you grab it, you can even use that proceed to develop your own estate. You get? So these are the things that actually make me to have a turnaround. You know, so although I'm the MD of my own company, so I have a choice to make. You know, I can decide. I can make a U-turn of what I want. You know, so because some of us are actually working in an industry, you know, so it will be very difficult for us to take that drastic move. All right. So now we have to understand designs. You have to know how to read design. It's very important for us to know. It's very important for us to know. As small as layout, you need to know how to even, okay, if somebody gives you a 2-bedroom apartment layout, how can you be able to read the building? You know, so these are the things that we need to equip ourselves with, apart from the hustling and bustling of this repair and all that we are doing. The repairs, they will always come, but we need to continue to evolve as well. That is what we are trying to teach us here. Now, the other stage, which is stage 3, is construction. You know, during the construction stage, the FM needs to be involved. We need to be able to review material selections, you know, select being able to know the kind of quality materials that we can even advise. Some materials are not supposed to be used in a traffic area, you know. So because we were not part of the people that are deciding, you know, all these things are things that they will just decide without us knowing. But if the FM comes together with the real estate, you know, so these are the things that they would, as you'll be involved, like a stakeholders, you can be able to make changes. No, these are tiles that we're going to use, as in it has caused a damage for someone that I know, like 2 years ago. You know, instead of using a smooth tile, let us use a vitrified tiles and all that. So you can be able to make selections. Even in terms of color or painting, you can make some selections. Somebody might want to use probably a white paint. You can say no, because this place is a traffic area. No, let us use this kind of color. Let's use this shade of color. You know, you have to still know some colors and all that. So these are the knowledge that that somebody will see in you that will make you to say, okay, this person, let us make him a stakeholder. You know, again, what do you ask? Are we building for 20 years, or we are just building for 2 years brochure? Some people, it is just they just want to quickly bring up what is on the brochure, because it is a 3D, very fancy and all that, but not minding the quality of that project. They just want to build something so that they can just hand over this project and they can just move to the next one. So these are the things that a lot of people do. They are not building for a test of time. And it is because we are not part of the team that is deciding. That's why all this thing comes up. Sometimes it might be very difficult for us to convince them, even if we are brought at the beginning, but at least our input will be felt. Some little changes can be corrected. And again, we know what we are going to face, or what we are going to face at the post-management, right? We know that, yes, even though we are at the beginning, but some things are not done very well, we know what we are going to face because we are part of the system, right? Now, let's move to the phase 4, which is the sales and marketing. We have talked about this very well, So the real estate firm will also market the FM futures. This is an advantage for them when they are making sales and marketing, because this is what the real estate knows how to do best. This is what they know how to do best, how to sell and how to market their products, even though they know what they have done, But if they have done the right thing from the beginning, like they have brought in the FM thinking, so all these futures can be used as a marketing strategy, like homes with 30% lower energy costs. These are the things that you are telling your clients. Homes that has our estate with zero waste management issues, because we have been able to put all these things into as in you have put it into considerations from the early days, from the beginning. Okay, so are we selling a product, or we are selling a long-term experience? So you have to decide if you are selling 2 years project or you are selling 20 years project. 20 years project, you know what it means. These are quality projects, that has a long-term experience. All right. So moving to the next one. Now, at the handover and operations. Now, so what are the actions? Seamless data handover from project teams to FM teams. You know that the handing over will be smooth. You are not learning anything all over. You are just transiting, from the sales to post management, because you are already part of the team from the onset. So you have a huge information before you. You have all the drawings, you have all the features, you have all the operational. In fact, you can even set up a service charge, a favorable one, that will be very friendly to the occupant, and so on and so forth. So these are the things that we need to know about this. Then the last part of the slide is the inevitable future. This is what we want to achieve. The market is getting smarter. Buyers and investors are looking deeper. They are learning fast. The buyers already knows some things that will definitely go wrong in the future. They are informed. They know what they want. It is not just about saying that you have infrastructures on paper. You have infrastructures on paper. What is your past project like? How can you convince us from your past project? We can even take a view of your past project. How is it faring? From there, we can be able to say, okay, because of this project that you have done and it's good and it's looking nice, you can convince us to come and buy this. So these are the things that we need to start putting into consideration. These are the things that the FM, the knowledge that we have now, we can actually use it one way or the other to sensitize the real estate firms. We can use it as an advocacy for ourselves. We can use it as a campaign that, no, don't hand over a building to us. Let us in from the day one. Take us in. And if you want to be taken in, then you need to understand the system. You need to understand how the thing flows. You need to understand how the system is being operated. You need to be able to also go in and out of the real estate firm, understand the real estate industry beyond what we have said here. All right. So the next competitive advantage won't be how beautiful your building looks today. No, we are not looking at the aesthetics. We are looking at what do you have on ground? What structure and system do you have on ground? What will be the fate of this future in 10, 20, and 30 years? How efficient will it perform? This is the power of FM thinking and real estate execution. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of the slide.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Larry. I wish there is a way we can be having a resounding applause. I just want people to be, just send your acknowledgements. Thank you. I can see people already clapping. This is actually, I would say 5 slides, but they are all loaded. Mr. Larry, from the beginning till the last slide, I was asking myself, maybe I did not actually know more about real estate. I was having new experience. And let me tell you another thing you unfolded. You unfolded new areas that people can actually go and learn. You unfolded new areas where people can go and broaden their understanding on some things. When you say that someone asked you to sell a house and you're like, you don't even know what to do, that you are not even into real estate. To me, I was like, you shouldn't even be in real estate to market, because you already understand the nitty-gritties of every profession and the value, the bedrock of everything you said is value, how to market and sell value. It's not about construction companies designing and selling and exiting, handing over. Is about them constructing, building, designing, and selling value. That is what people are looking for now, value. And it is only when the FM is brought in at the inception. I have actually read so many materials on the importance of getting FM at the inception of projects. But today, you actually broke it down to, for even a layman, a woman that is selling akara can understand what value means. I want to tell you a very big thank you for doing justice to this topic. From the design stage, she said we should get involved from the inception. He said land acquisition, the design, the construction, and the handover. And that is where you actually hid the new knowledge, or people, when we are doing thesis, when we are writing projects, they will say, okay, other areas that people can actually go and research and read more on. That is where you now hid all those things. And I'm going to tell Chinedu to tell us, especially those of us that are still young in the profession, maybe those knowledge that Mr. Larry brought out from the acquisition, what should they know about acquisition? You talk about people knowing the sizes of land, people knowing the titles that they should, people are buying, people knowing how to do search. And then you go down into, you went to the design. What should we, how can we interpret plans? These are the areas where I feel Mr. Larry is telling us people should now research more, read more on this now and learn, so that the young FMs that are here can know how to really value and cherish this profession that they have. So Mr. Larry, honestly, I am really, really impressed. And I want to tell you, thank you. I believe some of us will have questions. Yes, very educative and impactful. Yeah, someone already commented on the chat box. I believe some of us will have questions. And I will actually say that I think many construction companies are beginning to understand that they need FM in their projects. I've actually seen that. I've seen many construction companies now have, when you go to their sites to read about them, they will now tell you, after telling you the property manager, developer, blah, 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 you now see where they say FM. But I think it is still not enough. They have it in-house, but sometimes those FM they have in-house might not be as resourceful or as knowledgeable to be able to impact that value in their projects, especially at the baby stage. So I think there is still need for them to really outsource to FM companies. That's why it's good to have all these other FM coming up, so many FM companies that construction companies can outsource those bundles to, so that they can assist them to sell value, not just real estate, sell value to people, because the real estate business is evolving, like you stated at the beginning. So this is time for questions and answers. We have 14 persons here. We have Mr. Chinedu, we have Farouk. Farouk said a lot. I really liked what he said. We have Emeka Balogun Henry. We have Isiaka Ainde. Let's have your questions. We have Namdi. And then we have Victor Agena. Victor Agena is actually on this platform. So let's have your questions or your concerns, or it could be a contribution, or you have experienced something like this in the past, and you just tell us how you were able to navigate. Okay, so let's have contributions, please.
There's actually a question on the chat box. When you go up, talking about how exactly will FM, just go up, you'll see that the question, I think it's somewhere at the middle or so.
Okay. Can you read it, Mr. Chinedu, please, if you can? I'm
Okay,
trying
the question says, how exactly will FM be introduced? Is FM coming as consultants that will be involved from the planning stage to execution to completion? So how exactly would the FM come in? Would the FM come in as a consultant, or how would the FM to be introduced in any of those stages in the course of the construction? So maybe Larry, you can do more justice to that.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. Like I said, if I'm not mistaken, this is my 14th years in facilities management. And I'm just like 2 years in the real estate sector. You can see the gap, right? Sometimes I used to blame myself. Why haven't I know the real estate sector since like 14 years ago now? Yeah, because I think I was born to be a facilities manager. I like that profession. Yeah. Because I realized when I was growing up, I used to do a lot of things that sometimes if I sit down now, I'll be looking at it and say, those things were facilities management. Because sometimes I don't wait for instructions before doing some things. I don't wait for someone to tell me do this when I was growing up. So that's when I realized that if I'm not in a wrong profession, the fact that we are bringing in real estate to whatever we are doing is to expand our knowledge and horizon. Now, back to the question. Like I said, nobody will hand over opportunities to you. You'll be the one to create it. Part of what I'm doing in Abuja here now is writing to real estate firms, big real estate firms in Abuja, to tell them the importance of facilities management. To tell them that facilities management can also help them to sell their product, their project faster, like 5 times faster than what they think. And what I'm training here now is still part of what we are going to train them. You can see, anything in life, people have to know you, people have to like you, and also people have to trust you. So if they know you, that this is what you are bringing in, they might like you or they might reject you. However, if you are continuing to be liked, of course, they are going to trust you. And before you know, already become the consultant for them. Did I answer your question?
Okay.
I think it's Isiaka Ide.
And we also have Mr. Henry's hands up. Mr. Henry.
No, I want to be sure if
Good
that
evening.
answer is okay with him. If he gains value with that answer, I want to be sure. Is he still around?
I think it's
Isiaka.
Isiaka. Okay.
I
He's still
think is
muted.
it Isiaka?
Okay, Mr.
So
Henry.
however,
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Henry, you can go ahead.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, fellow facility managers. I don't know if I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are very audible.
Okay, thank you very much. So I want to add to the response of Mr. Larry on the question raised by Mr. Isiaka. Can I continue?
Go ahead, please. I want to learn more.
All right. Okay. So everybody sees facility management as a cost center. That is one thing that everybody sees facility management as. They see facility management as a cost center whereby we spend money in doing this and that. So many things about facility management. So, but one way this thing has worked for me actually. It's still working for me. One way for us to position ourselves also such that whenever there is any project, let's say in our own organization, because everything starts from the atom. And where I'm looking at as the atom is where I am working currently as a facility manager. If there is a project or if there is something that they want to do, any particular event or project, will they call me first? They have to call me first. What do I do to position myself in a way that whenever any project wants to start from the conception stage, I will be called as a facility manager? It's just one thing that I learned in the course of facility management. You have this thing as the person that always spend money. But that money, does it add value? So the value there of what you do as a facility manager, do you add value to the organization? Yes, you spent 1 million, 10 million, but what is the value? The kind of like looking at it as ROI, the return on investment. What does it bring back to the organization? If they see that spending 2 million later, they will also gain 4 million in a certain period of time, you will be called on. You will be called on. This particular thing worked for me. Recently, I'm now working as part of the project team that would supervise a particular project in Bauchi. At the design stage, I was called upon. What did they say? They said, Henry, we always look for a shortcut that will make us not to spend plenty money and we will still deliver. Bring Henry, come. Since the MD said we need to cut costs, bring Henry, come. That was just the only statement I heard that they were making. At least two managers were making that made them bring me into that project. And honestly speaking, so many of them do not even know that I was an architect. My first degree is architecture. So when I came into the project, I now used what I knew as an architect to help them, coupled with my facility management knowledge. So when a facility manager adds value consistently, continuously, you have put yourself in that position whereby when there's a project, you will be called. But when you don't add that value, they will not look at your face. They will not come your way on the inception. That's just what I said. I wanted to also add to Mr. Larry's response.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Cost optimization is very, very important. Like you said, most see us as money spender, but sometimes we don't just spend money. We are trying to optimize. We should also look for a way to optimize costs. to reduce the way we spend money. Like I said earlier, you have to be known. So knowing means that you have to continue to do something that would make people to be attracted to you. And that is the major things that you are doing. You are trying to see how you can cover some as in some extravagancies. So nobody would give you something freely if you are not bringing something to the table. And for you to do that, you have to be known, and you have to be liked, and you have to be trusted. And that is the summary of what Mr. Henry has said. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry. All right, so I think we have Mr. Joseph Epo. There is a
Hello,
hand
good
raised
evening,
up.
everyone. Yes, I can. Yes, I want to. I'm aligned with the last speaker, and him being an architect and an FM was able to make a compilation of knowledge, and I was able to create an impact. Now, my take is that for we that we are not into architect or like project management, though someone like me, I think I've done some project management foundation course online because I believe that as an FM, you need these skills of project management so that at least you're able to create one or two value when you are in that space or in that office. So how can we, for us to have a wider knowledge, practical knowledge is different from you just reading on the textbook and you do some exam and you go. So in what way can we fit into that space of having a practical view of exposure in terms of project management so that at least it will help one or two of us in that space able to have a wider understanding of the scope of project management and as well incorporate into an FM system. That's just one or two things I wanted to my observation on that aspect. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chinedu can answer that. Mr. Chinedu can come in. Or Mr.
Yes, as if you knew I wanted to raise my hand. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, so as an FM, we have an advantage and we must capitalize on that advantage. That advantage is this. As an FM, you have the opportunity of working with HR, you have the opportunity of working with admin, you have the opportunity of working with accountant. I'm not saying indirect, you have direct opportunities of working with different sets of people, engineers, what is it called, architects. You work with virtually, you are the center of everybody's function. You have the opportunity of working with all these people. Now, what happens? Your relevance, your ability to come on board, to be able to make a positive contribution depends on how you're able to position yourself. What do I mean by this is this. If I, by virtue of my working with HR, I see it as I'm not a HR person. Well, anything they are doing is their own thing. It doesn't concern me. I am focused on my FM. Tomorrow, if there's a discussion that has to do with HR, nobody will see me as relevant. Now, if there is yes, I'm working with what's it called, an accountant, and I can't do simple budgeting. I can't speak simple what's it called, accounting language. When they're speaking, I would say, yeah, I have the opportunity of working with them. But anytime they speak, I say, no concern, now they are thing. Then what happens? For every time there's an opportunity for me to be able to position myself and speak as an authority, I won't be able to. Number one, because I've not maximized opportunity of working with those people that I'm working with. It's not everybody that has the opportunity that we have. As IFM that it's a multidisciplinary what's called profession. It's not everybody that has the opportunity that we have in relating and interfacing with all these people together. So we need to maximize that opportunity. And when we maximize that opportunity, there's no knowledge that is waste. Those knowledge will be, will be a value for us, so that whatever situation, whatever circumstances, we already have a knowledge of what to talk about. In addition to that, is that we must also expose ourselves in terms of that learning. Apart from language, you should be able to go to an accountant and say, how do you do this? I believe in learning. I believe in asking questions. And that's one of the advantages I have. There's nothing stopping you from going to your accountant on the normal day. This is my budget. This is my budget. How did you do it like this? How did you do? You have learned that one. Is a plus to you. HR tomorrow, at a particular level of FM, you might be directly involved in, employing or engaging, what's it called, personnel or FM or whatever people that are going to work with your team. You also ask questions. You also read. One thing that makes, that gives confidence to speak even in the public is when you're sure you know. The confidence comes from the knowledge, the understanding of the field or what you are talking about. But what happens is that by the time you restrict yourself to the FM that carries only spanner, the FM that carries only screwdriver, when it comes to a stage where you'll be expected to make contribution, you will shy away because you don't know whether what you're going to say is actually the truth or not, or whether you're going to say reality or you're going to speak out of point. So how we can do this is to maximize that opportunity of interfacing with all these various professions at our own time to do what? Make your research. Take 1 minute, 2 minutes a day and explore an area you didn't know anything about. Get those knowledge. Such that's the only way, when your words, when your contributions make sense, people will always look for you. Your contribution will not be contribution of out of point. Next time, if you want to speak, they will tell you, please, there's no time, we're rounding off the meeting. But make sure that, you build up your knowledge such that even if you're given 1 minute to speak, you will speak value within that 1 minute. And that's how the next time, even if there is a meeting and you're not around, they will call you. Even if there's a meeting and this one, they will say, allow him in. He has something to say. So let's expand our knowledge. Let's expand our capacities as FMs and, position ourselves so that people will only see us as people that are coming to only collect money. They see you as a strategic partner, knowing that, this person is also contributing to our success or as an organization in general. Thank you. That's what I want to add. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chinedu.
Thank you, Mr. Chinedu.
I believe that answered.
I believe Mr. Okay, another person. We have hey, sorry, I don't know. Please, the person that raised his hand, you can speak. I think you brought it down. Okay, I thought I saw another hand.
Good evening, ma. Good evening, sirs.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Olayewaju. Thank you, Mr. Larry, for job well done. Now, I would like to, first of all, answer or attend to the question that the last person that asked question talk about in my own little understanding. When it comes to project management or acquiring the skill and knowledge of project management, fine, the theory, as you said, is very, very essential. That is, you need to understand actually what you want to practicalize. But when it comes to proper usage of it, that is the application of it. If you are finding it difficult or you're struggling, you can actually go online, download some software like Jira. We have Jira, we have Microsoft project and some other ones. Then you don't necessarily need to wait for that big opportunity for you to actually practicalize or practice. Then you can start from your FM project, minor project, because if you look at project management, it is not only meant for the FM or construction building. Project management skills and knowledge is being applied across all sectors. Whether you are an event manager or you are a caterer, you are a tailor, you are a quality control person. Everybody is involved in project management one way or the other. It's only that people don't tend to know. Even if you want to improve a process in an organization, that process improvement it will come as a project first. It is when it is being done that it will now turn to operation. So every phase of what we are doing, even in FM, will come as a project. So my brother, what you need to do is just make sure that you get this software, get parties. You can actually use your small project, probably maybe a contractor wants to actually do a upgrading, maybe on the fire alarm panel. It's a project on its own. Then you put those assignments, that is the scope, the time, the quality, every aspect of the resources management, every aspect of the project management, you put them. These are available in the software already. There you put them, you assign them properly, you assign the people that will do the job. So by using the software to practice, it will go a long way to help you. That's one option. Then another option is that you can actually look for somebody that has knowledge, that is a project management pro. There you can volunteer, talk to the person. I don't even need money. Just let me, if you have the chance, you can follow that person or volunteer to work with that person, probably maybe on weekend basis, just to get an insight and see the practical aspect of it. So I think that also will help, because I know your struggle. I've been in that position before. Then, because the theory aspect, they are mere theory, and you can actually have a good grade. You sit for the exam, the theory, but when it comes to proper application, doing the documentation, you will know nothing. You won't be able to do it. So with these options that I've given, you can actually give it a try. And practicing on your own is very, very essential. Even if you attach yourself to a pro, you still need to practice. You still need to use a small project to practice. Once you are FM, within your FM activities, you will always have small projects, if not bigger ones, so you can use it to grow. So that's my contribution in that aspect. And concerning what we've been talking about so far, so good, I concur with Mr. Lai 100%. The advocacy, we must do it from beginning, that the FM personality, the FM practitioners, the experts should be giving room to be part of project from the beginning. And it's not about just fighting for our space. The advocacy matters. The FM company, we should come out and be doing that as an FM, an individual. We should also do it, because in a situation whereby we have desired error from the onset of a project, it is not about repair or correction or correcting snacks alone. We are talking about issue of safety issues attached to it as well. For instance, if you have a 3-story building and the designer design a place where the AC will be outdoor in a way that there will not be means to actually service the AC, or probably if someone wants to do that, it will compromise safety, or probably you will need to now set a scaffolding to do that. You know how much it will cost. So there are other factors attached to not including an FM, and for them to be able to have their own input from the beginning or as the project is going. There's a lot of factors, a lot of negativity that the builders or the owner of the building actually need to battle with later. Issue of sustainability, issue of quality, issue of safety, and some other issue. So thank you. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Olaiwaju. You're my namesake, actually.
Thank you. Thank you, Olaiwaju. Thank you so much for all the contributions. Honestly, is really a very good one. And I want to also state here, I think I'll tell Mr. Larry, that there is actually an estate that has been contacting us to come and assist in managing or in putting things in the right order. The last speaker talked about estates having so much negativity. It's not that I'm not interested or we are not interested in handling their services, but there has been a protracted problem in that estate. Somehow we are tactically avoiding them. It's a very big estate in Abuja. The reason we are avoiding them is because we don't want the brand that we have established and we've built for all these years to be tainted with such negative names or visions. We don't want that. They got it wrong from the inception. And the problem they have is currently affecting the operations in the estate. And then they are now calling us to come. I told my colleagues, I said, we can't put our hands here. I know we want businesses that we want to hand. Everybody looking for new business. No. But it gets some business where person no go put their hand for. So that we are not going to become named among the FM companies that have actually managed them and they did not get it well. Because people will not ask why they didn't get it well. In as much as they see Obi and Co FM, they say, these people know Sabi Woko. Do you understand? And I don't know if I'm getting it wrong by taking such decision, but I think it is not everywhere, every door that's knocks and calls us for our services that we will enter. This was
Why
for
did you
years.
Why
For
did you
years,
refuse them?
they've been battling. See, I don't know how they have their
Is
infrastructure, got it wrong. They got from
it an
their
existing?
Sorry?
How long has it been? How long has the building been? Is it a new building or it has been there for a long time?
Not, if I'm not mistaken, the estate should be as old as, if I'm not mistaken, either 13, 12 years old.
Wow.
And they have serious issues.
Problem. So what are the issues? You have to first of all get to the root cause of the issues.
It's structural issues. The only way it can be handled is if there is a complete revamping of their structural or let me say their infrastructural systems.
Are they ready to spend the money?
For where? They are not. So we have done our investigation. You know, they said you must investigate your customers before you enter into an agreement with them.
Yes.
We've done our own investigation. We call them, I'm looking for the due diligence, sort of. And we discovered that it's not as if we cannot handle it. Sorry?
Some people are not ready to spend money
Hello?
to take care of that building.
Thank you. People are some to speak. Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, quite right. What you did is very good things. My advice is that what you could do is that you do the audit, then you submit a report to them and with recommendations. Then before you do anything or before you do anything, you have to have an agreement with them. What are the things? What are your recommendations based on observation that you will observe from on your audit before you take any contract with them, which is very important. Is you are professionals, you know what is there. Yes, Anako. That is my advice. Submit your report, then an agreement, and find the accommodation. These are the things that they need to do before you take over a building as a facility manager. To be in charge of this, and everything will happen with a lawyer, everything. You see an agreement. That is my own advice, because we are professional on the field. Thank you.
You can actually improve some of the lapses they have. You can actually improve it, but give them a recommendation. Do an audit, do your facility management audit, they recommend. So if they are ready to, as abide by your terms, go into service level agreements, and go ahead. There is no property without its problem. Every property has their problem. You understand? Property does not have the same problem.
Yes, sir.
So that's it. You cannot be running the problem
one of the challenges.
in this facility management.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Quite right, sir.
Okay, Mr. Henry. Mr. Henry wants to add to what we have.
I think someone wants
Mr. Henry. Yeah. But I agree with what Mr. Farouk said. Do your facility audits, all those things that you have identified, put it out, recommend, and tell them how you want to manage if they accept, go into agreement with them, get a lawyer, and go ahead, go and eat your money. You don't have any problem at all. Don't believe there's a problem in any facility. You can only improve, yes. And if they are not ready to improve, then you do them. Until then you cannot say you have done a background check on something. Assess them, come out with a full audit of what you have observed and how you want to improve their services based on your recommendation. Get a meeting, get them to meet, tell them what you have come out with and recommend. If they're ready to go with you, then get a lawyer and see the agreement, police level agreement, and that's all. So most times, most of the problems that we are looking at is not actually a problem. They need our input. They need us to, give them a solution. So, and that's why we are building doctors, specialists. So no matter how old or how wicked the building is, you can still make it well, because we are a specialist in this field. So that's my own.
Thank you very much. Mr. Henry, I can see your hand, so go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So, my own input is coming from, because I had the opportunity to work with structural engineers, and since you said it's structural issue mainly, I would recommend that while maybe after you have done this process of, that is, if you consider that you want to take up the job, you have followed the whole processes that our fellow FS here has mentioned, the first thing they need to do is an extensive NDT test. And please, if you're doing the NDT test, your trusted guys to be on ground, because I'm still working on training that will make me a certified NDT tester.
Okay.
I've worked with these structural guys, and I've done NDT tests even with Lagos State Ministry of Works. They contracted us and gave us some jobs. My boss then some jobs. So now, when we are on site, you will find out that some of the contractors that were the ones that did the construction of all the structural aspects of the building, they will come on site. They will join us while we are testing the point. They would even want to show us where to test, but an NDT tester tests randomly. It tests randomly. And then after our inspection, we test randomly, then we test specific aspect that physically looks like a defect is occurring in this particular location. So when we are doing that, you see they tend to tell us, test this side. Now lie, that place that they say should test, they know that they did not do any hanky panky there. There's no wuru there. They are trying to make you to avoid the side that there is wuru, so that the results will favor their job. We don't do that. So what we do is we test where we are supposed to test. So they want to also doctor the report by bribing some of the guys that are testing the building, so that you will not impute figures that are wrong. So one thing we usually do, because our boss usually tell us that as an engineer, we can kill 10,000 people at the same time, but a doctor can only kill one at a time. So that is what we always remember every time, and he always mention it every day before we go to site, even when he's calling us to ask for progress reports and updates. So to avoid all these measures that will make the results that will maybe force the results or make the results to be tampered with, you have to be on site while they are doing all the testing of all those buildings that are having those structural defects. It's very mandatory that you be on site, or you have your trusted guys that will be on site, those that will not compromise integrity. They should be on site when they are doing this test. And this test will help you to know whether these buildings can be structurally supported or not. If they can be structurally supported, you can now employ structural engineers that would help us to understand what kind of support, what is the cost implication. You bring in the QS for what is the cost implication, and then present to the client. At that point, your contract should also state that this thing you are doing, they will pay you for it, because this kind of people, this kind of clients, it is at that point you will now know whether they are ready to spend money to either support the building or demolish and reconstruct. So if they are the type of client that is the normal Nigerians type of client that they don't like spending money to maintain their building, and they leave the building to dilapidate continuously. You know that you still have money, or you still have value, or you have been paid for the job you did, because your contract says that at this stage of checking and consulting and investigation, this is your legal fee. That is just it. That's just the only thing I will just add for you. So you did not just do all those investigations and all those work for them, telling them, showing them the root cause for free. That is my own input as a business person, and also as someone that has idea in structural defects of building. That's my feedback.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think let me say thank you, everybody. They've all given me ideas on how to handle this issue. So thank you. I'm going to get down to work and then see how I can implement it to market the value that I've gained to the customer. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Larry. Mr. Chinedu, do we have maybe any other announcements before you give the vote of thanks? Mr. Chinedu.
Okay. Thank you. Larry, thank you very much for making out time. Thank you, Obi, for the coordination. We don't actually have any additional announcement, just for us to at least implement what we have learned today, because I think that's actually the most important aspect of it. And like we've also been doing before now, this will be recorded, and the link will also be shared. We have a YouTube channel where we'll drop them for people to visit after, or anytime they want to go and listen to them again. So this will as well be done. Thank you, everyone who has made out time to join. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, being a friend. Thank you for also making out time, to be part of this section tonight. I know I've learned. I know, and I love the aspect of bringing practicality, bringing the science experience to it, so that it doesn't look more like theoretical. So and you can see the level of interactions that actually came from it, which has also added to the learning. Thank you, everyone. So let's go on the lookout. We can only get better. God's special will, in my next month, we also have another section, at least before the end of the year. Thank you very much, Obi. Thank you, Obi. You can conclude now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like Chinedu said, another session is coming up in December, and then before we plan for the year. And we also have a survey on the platform. I will encourage everybody to go and take the survey, because we're going to use the information from it to plan for 2026. So thank you, Mr. Larry. Thank you so much for this practical session. It is actually practical. We are in the field, but virtually.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Virtually in the field. So thank you so much for that. And thank you, Mr. Joseph. Thank you, Olariwaju. Thank you, Mr. Henry. Thank you, Mr. Farouk Obafemi, Samson Balogun. And yeah, for some of us that have dropped, I think they already know that we are coming to an end of the program. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful rest this night, and a happy Sunday tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Obi, we forgot to tell you happy birthday. Today is Obi's birthday. I forgot to wish her happy birthday. Very happy returns. We appreciate you, Obi. Thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you.